Hey guys, real quick, only 40% of our viewers are actually subscribed, so let's change that right now. Hit that subscribe button right below. Baltimore Ravens 23, New York Jets 10. Ravens move to 6-5. Your first place, AFC North, Baltimore Ravens. Jets fall to 2-9. And they didn't even have a good quarterback to watch this weekend in college football. They got up 7-0. Tyrod to John Mechie. Held the Ravens to 72 first half yards. So the Jets, stopping the run early on. They were doing a nice job, hanging tough. Ravens pulled away in the second half. Jets still had a chance, though. But was it Marlon Humphrey? My notes? Forced the fumble.
It was.
On Breece Hall at the goal line. It was
Stripped the ball
20-10. And Marlon Humphrey doesn't seal it, but pretty close to sealing it with the goal line fumble.
That was one of those plays, where it's like, being an announcer or a broadcaster, I'm sure is harder than it looks. But there's some times where it's like, I've heard a thing during the week, and this is vaguely, tangentially relevant to that, so I'm going to definitely say it now because it's a cool nugget, right? And he's like, man, Marlon Humphrey, he studies how players hold the ball so he can get the punch correct, he can go in the right direction. It's like there's a replay of him literally like grabbing hold of the ball, like just wrestling with it for a couple of seconds and then ripping it out. Like there's no study involved in that. That's just see ball, get ball.
You don't think that was film study?
No, I don't. I don't think there was any film study involved in, I know he's holding the ball in a slightly unique way. I can get that. Like he's just grabbing hold and wrestling it out. Like there's no nugget anecdote attached to that. It's just man sees ball, man wrestles, hold the ball, man makes game-changing play.
Ravens got going in the second half so that was the key play in the game, right? The Ravens got their offense going a little bit. 34-yard defensive pass interference on Isaiah Oliver that started to get the Ravens moving. Like I usually write down key plays that led to, let's say, like the two short Derrick Henry touchdowns. Like there weren't really many from the Ravens offense. What did they end up with yardage-wise? Just 241 net yards for the Ravens.
Yeah.
Wasn't much better if you take out kneel downs. 2 of 11 on third down. So the Jets defense did a pretty nice. I'll say this: the Jets defense has played hard and been pretty competitive since even trading Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams. They've been competitive. They did a really nice job on Derrick Henry in the run game. I know some people are asking about Lamar. They're even asking him post game: is the injury affecting you? He's not as dynamic. Like there's something still probably missing with Lamar, and now it's more of just a pocket type of game for Lamar Jackson and rely on Derrick Henry. And I think you lose some of the dynamism of that offense. And that's why they don't, as you said on the instant reaction last night, they don't feel as dominant, right? They don't feel as dominant in these games that
they're
they
definitely
should dominate.
not. I mean, this is the big picture thing for the Ravens. Like on the one hand, this is exactly what people expected to happen, has happened. For the 1-5 Ravens have won 5 straight, and they're now literally ahead of Pittsburgh. They have the tiebreaker over them at the moment. So they're in first place in the division, having been 1-5. Vegas always kind of expected that to happen. They had never slipped out of being slight underdogs for the division. They were always basically as likely as not to end up winning this division overall. But the one thing that is true is it's not the Ravens team people expected to see before the season. They are not dominant. Lamar Jackson has just 153 passing yards, did not look spectacular. It's not even like it was 153. He has games every now and again where he's like 20 of 23 for 153 and nothing, no touchdowns or whatever.
Like 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, this was 13 of 23. This was not a dominant, efficient Lamar Jackson performance. This was a game where they struggled, they grounded out, they just about had enough plays to end up winning relatively comfortable on the box score. Like Zay Flowers was, I think, by far their most dynamic passing or their most dynamic weapon on offense. But it's not the Ravens team everyone expected to see. So whilst they may still win the division and get into the playoffs and, host a playoff game, they're not the dominant force. Like they're not the team. Nobody's scared of this Ravens team right now.
Yeah, unless you could get Lamar. It's not even that he has to be running the way he was. It's more of the sack avoidance and using him as a threat in the design run game. Kyle Hamilton was banged up at one point in this game.
That looked really bad, and it apparently is not. It was sort of weird. It was like a confluence of 3 or 4 players, and Hamilton's it wasn't even contact. It was like in rushing to sort of be involved in this tackle, his leg kind of planted in a weird way, and he immediately like hops up, hobbling, and you're like, uh-oh, that doesn't look good. But apparently it does not sound like it's a bad injury.
So they're going to turn around and play Thanksgiving night. So they're hosting Cincinnati this week. Joe Burrow did practice in full before this week's game, and we mentioned, hey, if he's doing that, he could be back Thanksgiving night.
Yeah.
And I don't think, like, Cincinnati's probably out of it now at 3-8, but like I don't think they have to like protect Burrow for the rest of the year. I don't know if there's a big re-injury risk or anything, so they're probably just going to play.
That's what it should be. That's what the determination should be, though. Like, is he in any risk of re-aggravating this? If he is, forget about it. If he isn't, then sure. And if nothing else, Cincinnati can prove quite an impressive spoiler for other teams. Like, they play Baltimore twice, they can ruin the Ravens season.
Oh, yeah.
They play Buffalo, they can ruin Buffalo's season.
And so that's what, what the Ravens have when we were anticipating this little run here. They've now won 5 straight and won 5 straight, last couple against lesser teams. Not in dominant fashion, as we said, not in like classic Ravens fashion, but they've put themselves in position now to be leading the AFC North. They've got the Bengals Thanksgiving night. They'll have their mini bye, and then the Steelers coming to town. So they're in the middle of a 3-game home stretch. Weird schedule, too, for the Ravens. 3 road games, 3 home games. Middle of this homestand here, and Steelers coming to town December 7th.
Cincinnati sweeping the Ravens would turn this division into quite a hilarious level of chaos. Like if they swept Baltimore and then maybe Baltimore sweeps Pittsburgh, and they're all just sitting there at like what a 6 and or
well,
6
if
and
Cincinnati
7
does
or whatever.
that, then you could if Burrow's back and Cincinnati can win the rest of their games, they're 9-8.
Yeah.
So that's what they're in the same spot as last year. If they win out, Joe Burrow's presumably coming back. If the Bengals win out, they could still make the playoffs. So we keep writing them off every week because they keep losing, but they still alive. They don't lose.
But that specific run where if they were able to knock 2 games off Baltimore, if Baltimore were able to knock 2 games off Pittsburgh, I mean, just those games alone ends up putting both those teams with a losing record, with Cincinnati moving 2 games closer to getting back to a winning record. It would make a pretty hilarious level of chaos with Burrow back in the lineup. I mean, their defense is so bad that it's a worse version of last year, but it would still be pretty funny.
Anything else from a Jets perspective? They played hard.
They did. They
kept it close.
This was not a bad performance by them. They were noticeably better with Tyrod Taylor in the lineup and not Justin Fields. Like they're more effective. Their receiving core is still awful without Garrett Williams in the lineups, or Garrett Wilson rather, in the lineup. So there's a ceiling to how much you can expect from them, but there were like a couple of big leverage plays went against them. The Breece Hall forced fumble that we talked about as well. The Jets went for 4th and 2. Nate Wiggins had a nice stop there. So, they didn't quite get the plays they needed to, but they hung tough in this game.
And Breece Hall, really nice 40-yard reception in space, 4 catches for 75 yards. Every time Breece Hall makes a play now for the rest of the year, I'm going to kind of picture him in that Kansas City offense and think about, was that worth a 3rd or a 4th rounder for Kansas City? Did they make the right cutoff there? Because I do think Breece Hall could make a nice difference for Kansas City down the stretch here.
I'm kind of sad they didn't trade for Achane.
Oh, yeah. He would have
absolutely
helped that offense.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video.
Check the Mic is live Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a video.
You heard the man. Subscribe.